Hey guys, Nexum here. The best darn mech armor creator this side of any universe. Don't let anybody tell you it's that Benny Sharp guy or whatever. But how about you join me and we have a look at 3 rather unique and, might I say, awesome mech armors I designed? Well, let's get on with it, shall we? Hey kid. Yes, you, over there. You know who you are. Come here a minute. You interested in some mech armors? I happen to have 3 armors here right now that are rather rare and unique. How about you come here and have a look? I'll tell you a little bit about how these mech armors, based on some creatures from a Dungeons & Dragons universe I've been in. There are some absolutely insane creatures in this universe. They inspired me to make some of my best armors to date. I just finished this one. I think you might like it. This one was based on a kind of chimera of sorts. One of those, whatchamacallit. Oh yeah, sphinx-like creatures, from ancient legends and whatnot. Well, in this universe, there's a species of monster known as the Gino Sphinx. I think that's right, Gino Sphinx? Yeah, the Gino Sphinx. Body of a lion, giant wings, and it wore some fancy golden jewellery. Hey, don't look at me like that. I'm telling you the truth. I've seen far more wacky and bizarre things from other dimensions than some creature wearing jewellery. But hey, I'm not one to argue with the lords of the world and to judge. Well, I am, but not on something like that. Anywho, this mech arm was based on something called a Gino Sphinx, and it had some rather cool abilities, let me tell you. Not only could this thing fly, but it was also able to teleport. A pretty handy skill, if you ask me. And like all good armor mech creators, I had just the right doohickey for the job. A nice piece of tech I picked up that could allow you to teleport a short distance. Only say 20 meters, but in short bursts. Perfect if you use it at the right time, but it does need a little bit of a recharge after a while. As you can imagine, being based on a lion, this armor had to have a claw-based attack. I added something that is cool to these claws. They can heat up and slice through the toughest of materials. Of course, little disclaimer, there might be some materials that I can't slice through, but if you let me know which ones those are, I'll be interested. Maybe if you have a sample, I'll buy it from you, or I'll take it from you. After all, I'm always looking for good pieces of material to build the next mech armor and whatnot. What? I can't make an awesome armor without the right materials, after all. But if teleporting and superhit claws don't convince you, then how about this beauty of a feature, kid? Invisibility! That's right, not just hidden from sensors, but actually invisible. I learned a little while back how to refract light or something. I won't bore you with the details, but at this point, this armor can turn invisible for short periods of time. I like to call it stealth mode. Heard it in a movie once, and I thought it was a pretty cool feature name. A small recharge time of 10 minutes between uses, but it can last for about 5 minutes at the most. I know not the greatest in terms of consistent use, but I promise you, use it at the right time and it'll save your life, kid. I have to confess, I did like the design of the headdress, so I incorporated it into this armor. Well, in the helmet, but the main feature I added were the wings. These wings doubled as a shield that could wrap around the wearer and protect them from some pretty insane attacks. Hold up, this thing flies. Well, you put wings on it, didn't you? It should fly, right? Does it fly? Of course it flies, kid. And it flies like a majestic falcon through the sky. I mean, it may not look it, but this is the best part. I made it so that the wings can be used as a shield while flying in the air, and the armor can hover. Perfect, if you ask me. So, what do you say, kid? Interested in this armor? I can give it to you for an awesome price. It's tempting, but you said you had other armors? Can I see them as well? Fair enough, kid. Looks like you got a smart head on your shoulders. Have to tempt you a little bit more, I think. So, let's go on to this next armor. This one I created based on another beast of legend. This one is a well-known beast, a dragon. But this one wasn't your average dragon. Nexum only deals with the best of the best. And this armor is based on a shadow dragon. The coolest feature is this dark armor is able to blend into the darkness around it, becoming visible in any shadows or dark areas, as long as you don't move too quickly. This armor will give you enhanced strength. The main feature of this armor lies elsewhere. Don't get me wrong, you'll be stronger than most normal people, and on par with a few super strong people too. But this one was built for stealth more than it was built for strength. For this, I added some night vision and increased audio sensors. Is this all that it has? I mean, the last armor was cooler, and that one also had, like, invisibility. What's the big special thing about this? Whoa, kid, let me finish. There's more than just those few things I've mentioned. I'm working up to it. Sales technique and all that. You don't just give away the best features at the start. I mean, a fine piece of craftsmanship like this, it needs to finesse like a fine wine, especially one based upon the most renowned legendary creature of all time, a dragon. I mean, everyone knows what a dragon is. Well, those from universes and dimensions that don't have dragons don't know, but they don't count for my point, if you get what I mean. And in terms of invisibility, this one doesn't need a recharge. You just go into a shadow-like area and voila, disappeared from sight. Anyway, back to the features of this awesome piece of mech armor I created. I mean, these are the best armors you'll find anywhere in the multiverse. Wait, isn't the best mech armor person that Ben? Kid! Nexum here is the best mech armor creator this side of the multiverse anywhere in the multiverse. Any universe, you name it, it's Nexum. You got it? Good. Let's continue. Now, this armor is able to let a cloud of smoke for two rather cool features. The first and lesser of the cooler features is it acts like a smoke screen, hence the smoke. Allows you to just slip into the shadows anywhere you are once you've been seen and just wait and watch while they run around not being able to know where you are. Pretty cool idea. The second is the smoke supercharges the armor, so it can either recharge the armor if it's low on power, or it could supercharge it. But it does have a small side effect for those not wearing armor around it. A temporary loss of vision, sometimes permanent, but tomato, you know what I mean? You know, it's just not worth mentioning, really. Not to mention, this armor is reinforced. I mean, it can withstand the impact from an actual dragon with little to no damage at all. The tail and wings can detach to become weapons, but here's a rather cool extra feature on the tail. You see, the Shadow Dragon has this fin to allow it to swim. So I decided that that'd be rather cool. So in this mech armor, you can swim at high speed. You like? Oh, and as for air, this armor can filter the air from the water. You won't have to worry about it. Well, unless you go deep. And I mean like 50, 60,000 feet deep. But as approximation, you'll figure it out. Anyway, if you're running low on air, this armor will give you a 5-minute warning. Not much point of one of my armors having its user die while using the features. Bad for business. Fair being fair, then it's time to talk about the final armor I brought with me today. This one isn't a well-known beast outside the Dungeons & Dragons universe, but it looked pretty cool, so I had to learn a little bit more about it. And this is what I came up with. Pretty sweet if you ask me. What is this thing based off? It looks weirder than the other two armors. Well, the strange creature this thing was based off was a hyena-type beast known as a Shusuva. It had a stinger on its tail, and it could poison its opponents, but I can't really go around with a mech armor designed by me poisoning people. It's, and have people know it was built by me. So I decided to switch things up a little bit. But I changed it to be a taser, and it could also fire some taser projectiles. Pretty cool if you ask me. You can incapacitate even the strongest of opponents using this. Sharp blades on the armor were inspired by sharp spikes across the hyena's back. Looking quite fearsome, I thought it'd be quite cool to base the overall armor design on this creature. The white colour with glowing yellow ribs seemed to have a nice imposing effect, and it was quite a sleek design too. Combined with the blades and tail, this is one rather unique looking mech armor. Some of my finest work. Well, it does look cool and all that, I have to admit, and I can see the funny side of tasering your opponent to incapacitate or capture them, but does it do anything else? Well, that's not all for this one. I wanted it to be as cool as it looks, so I added a few extras. This armor is fully resistant to cold, fire, and even lightning or electrical attacks, whichever you want to class it as. I even made it so this thing could recharge using a thermo doohickey in a hot environment, and some kind of superconductor device that I've found. It means this armor can take multiple lightning spikes to either recharge or supercharge itself. Now that's pretty cool. I also thought, since this armor is based on a creature, it should be fast and agile. I kept the visor on it red, just wanted to have a nice little imposing effect. Depending how you use an armor, the public, people will see it as good or bad, just regardless of looks. But for those going up against it, I wanted to make sure they had a few nightmares for a couple of weeks. Now that you've said all that, I must admit, this one does look pretty cool and it's got some cool features, but I don't think it's my favourite. But it does sound awesome. Hey, you guys, Yeah, you, the ones that have come over while he's sort of like talking about his armors and that, and to have a look and stuff. You know, what do you think? Which one's your favourite? How do you guys like how this episode came out? And as the kids said, which one was your favourite? Let me know in the comments below. Really enjoyed doing a D&D MECH ARMOR episode. I'm open to suggestions for whatever creatures from the D&D universe we can turn into MECH ARMORs in a future episode. Don't forget, Community Redraw is now open. The submissions deadline is the 19th of September. And it's design your own Pokemon or dragon. Do 2 poses, 1 headshot and 1 full body shot, and add a bit of information about the abilities or the features of the dragon, or even the abilities and the type of the Pokemon. If you enjoyed this episode, why not check out the Minecraft mobs as D&D characters? I've already taken some Minecraft creatures and put them in the D&D universe. I have an inkling this Friday's episode is going to be a fun one, so be sure to check that out. Anyway, stay safe everybody. Catch you next time.